extra small devices. Call MD stands for the medium devices with. Call LG stands for the larger disk screens. Call LG stands for the larger screens. And yeah.
I have a question here. Like if X stands for small devices and MD, the main criteria here is to get a same code for different devices. So why not if you write MD and it works for all? Even if you write MD, it works for all the devices, for the small
Right.
devices, the tablets, and the desktop. So why do we write XS and LG again?
Right. So there will be a concept called customization. Customization in the sense, suppose if you are using the XS, you will be getting some additional advantages in rendering the themes in the small browsers. Okay. So LG, MD, and the XS, all three are supporting the all are supporting the responsive web designs. But if you are specifically targeting for the smaller devices, then you need not to use the MD and all, because it is going to cost you like what is the screen size calculation and all. It is going to save you that costing of calculating the screen sizes. Okay, so you need to calculate the screen size, and you need to do that alignment accordingly. So if you are targeting your application to be rendered exclusively in the mobile browsers, then why to give the extra burden to the CSS to calculate the widths and all? So directly you can go for the call access.
Yeah, Kiran. But anyhow, we import the whole CSS bootstrap. When you're using, we'll use the whole bootstrap CSS, and
Right.
only the media query which is applicable to that device will that code will run. So in that case, how can we say that the other code is causing the excess burden, because that will never run?
Good question. So whenever you're downloading the whole code, but based on the form factor, based on the viewport that you are rendering, you can customize which CSS that you need to use. You understand?
Okay.
Suppose
Okay.
there is a concept called less, AESS, or SASS. SAS is there. There are two concepts. So what you are going to do is, if you are using the mobile browsers, and there will be some when you are doing rendering on the mobile browser, you will not show all the features that are you are displaying on the laptop, right? Laptop screen.
Yeah.
You will show only certain features, not all the features. So in that
Okay.
case, you can customize your CSS according to your viewport. According to your viewport. Viewport. When I say viewport, it means the screen that on which you are rendering your the device on which you are rendering the
Yeah, the device.
application. So you can customize it. During that time, you can simply go for the access for that particular devices.
Okay.
Okay, so that you can achieve the customizations. For that purpose, they are using the call access, call MD, and call LG. All four are supporting you the these things. It's one responsive web designs.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Kiran. Thank you.
Okay, good question. See, I told you, right, less and all. So it is using to what you say, less or less is going to allow you to download the uh, show you the app according to the form factor. Okay, so where we are, yeah, we are designing. We are in the middle of designing the screen, right? Yeah, I'm here. So box 3. So similarly, if I want to have, I'm creating another row.
అప్పుడే చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా
So div class equal to row. Now observe what I'm doing here. div class call equal to row. And then what I'm performing here is I'm going to divide this screen into 12 equal parts. I'm going to divide this screen into 12 equal parts and just observe how the different things will work in this particular scenario. So you are going to achieve the responsiveness. So div class equal to any of the three, there is no problem. Call md-1.
నేను షీట్ తీసాను. ఈ షీట్ ఇస్తేనే నీకు బాగా కనిపిస్తాయి.
So now each box is occupying how much width? It is occupying the one division. It is occupying only one part of the 12 divisions. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we need two more. 11, and finally the 12th div. So total how many divs we made? We made 12 equal divs. So observe how it will get rendered in the browser. If I'm having the full screen width, it is rendering in the complete layout. But the moment I'm shrinking the screen to medium, so it is going to automatically vertically aligned. They will automatically vertically aligned. So are you able to understand how we are achieving the responsiveness in the CSS by using the CSS?
Yes. The width of each grid is set to a percentage. So whenever we're increasing or decreasing, like if the SM12 is set to 100 and then it is reduced for SM11, SM10 like that. So when we shrink in the size, all will take the minimum width.
Which one? It is auto. See, whenever you are shrinking this size, your screen, your screen will be calculated inside this min.css. Okay, your screen width will get calculated inside that min.css, and then they are aligning it. We call them as the media queries. Based on that, it is automatically performing that action. So to give you the width of this, there are different widths that are available. To give you that introduction, let me take you to the Twitter Bootstrap site one more time. Do you see this browser and the device support? It is supporting all the browsers and the devices, iOS, Android, Mac, and the Windows. So all the four it is supporting. See, do you see this fit column device width? So based on that, it is going to take it. Based on the device width, it is going to take it. They have already written that code for you, so you need not to break your head. Okay, why how it is coming and all. They have already done that thing for us. So it is going to help us in understanding. It is going to help us in giving you the what to say, that responsiveness.
Okay.
Okay, so let me take you to that. What are the standard device width? So wait a second. There are standard device widths for each and each and every device. So whenever you want to write the media queries, these are the device width. Smartphones 320. So usually it will be where we will put a range actually. 320 is the min width and 480 is the max. 320 to 480, you are going to apply these kind of styles. And then if it is going beyond the 480, you are going 480 to 768, you are going to apply another CSS. If 768 to 1024, it is you are going to apply some other kind of CSS. This is how you are going to write your media queries. This is the larger screen width. 1824 pixel is the larger screen width. For that you are going to write. So these are all called media queries. This is how you are going to write your media. This is how you are going to write your media queries. Do you see? Samsung Galaxy S5. If you are using a Galaxy S5, then this is the media width and all. So each device is going to tell what is the media width that they are going to using. So based on that, you can write your queries. If you are targeting for specific, sometimes you may need to write it only for if you are in a healthcare industry. What happens is they will have their own gadgets and they will have their own screen widths. So in that case, you need to write you need to use this Twitter Bootstrap or the media queries in this way. Media queries you just need to mention like this, and then you can use that particular code. Any questions? Excuse me. So we just understand how the grid system works. There is another system called fluid layout. There is a fixed layout and the fluid layout. So just observe what I'm doing. In the fluid layout, what happens is it is going to occupy the entire screen width. It is going to occupy the entire screen width. If you look at this, is it occupying the entire screen or it is leaving some gaps towards the left and towards the right? It is leaving some space towards the left and towards the right, isn't it?
Yes.
So in the fluid layout, what happens is you need to capture the entire screen width, and then you are going to play with that entire screen width. The one which you are seeing is the fixed layout. Now I am going to show you the fluid layout. So for that you need to use a class called container-fluid. That's it. What happened? What is the change that you are observing now? It is occupying the entire screen width. It is occupying the entire device width. So that is the difference between the fluid layout and the fixed layout. You are going to utilize the 100% width of the viewport in the fluid layout. Whereas in the fixed layout, that means in the previous layout, you will not use the 100% width. Instead, you will use some gaps towards the left and towards the right. You will be leaving some kind of margin. Just observe one more time. I'm removing this container fluid. Only to the container. The rest of the things are same. Only to the container. Now you observe there is a significant amount of left margin and significant amount of right margin. But now if I'm using this, it is going to, when I'm changing it to the fixed layout, I mean fluid layout, it is going to capture the entire screen width. Container hyphen fluid, it is going to occupy the entire screen width now. Any questions?
Hi Kiran, in what way is this fixed or fluid layout useful, like the fixed one over the fluid? In which
Yeah,
cases we will go for fixed rather than fluid?
good question. So majority of the times we will go with the fixed layout, but if your application is majorly targeted for the what you say mobiles and the tablets, there the width itself is very less. So, and if you are leaving the left margin and right margin, in such scenarios, what will happen is you will lose lot of space. If there is a really a real estate constraint, then people will usually opt for the fluid layout. If they want to display a lot of information on the screens and all, then it's in such scenarios they will go for the fluid layout. Otherwise,
Okay,
most of the times we will go for the fixed layout.
okay.
Okay. So now we'll slowly try to build a simple navigation bar by using our Twitter Bootstrap. As I told you, Twitter Bootstrap we will going to provide you default classes and all, right. So building a navigation bar in the previous things was a really pain thing. But after the coming of the Twitter Bootstrap and the HTML5 related frameworks, there are other frameworks available. That is called Zend is another framework. Uh, Foundation is another framework which is similar to the Twitter Bootstrap. So now we can use those two also. But among industry is mostly following the Twitter Bootstrap, so that's where I also using the Twitter Bootstrap. Okay, so we will try to create a simple navigation bar now. Very simple navigation bar. Okay, observe how I am creating the navigation bar. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a navigation bar. Okay, I'm just taking another page. So I'm using the Bootstrap navbar and just taking this particular type, the same libraries I'm taking. I'm using the same libraries here. Now I'm constructing the navigation bar. So in the HTML5, as I told you, some new tags got introduced. One among them is the nav tag. Nav tag is again, it is internally it is again a div tag, but as per the semantics, we are going to use it as a nav tag. Nav. So we are using the nav here. So there is a class already available for the nav. Class equal to navbar hyphen default. So whenever you are going to use this nav and navbar default, it is going to create a navigation bar for you. It is going to create a navigation bar for you. Observe how it is doing. Of course, right now you don't see anything there because we haven't added anything. So let's add that. Oh, sorry, spelling navbar default. So this navbar default is a theme actually. See, do you see there is a light gray color skin is coming here. Have you observed? or else let me do this. Navbar inverse. Now you can see the navbar, dark navbar. Do you see the navigation bar there?
Yes.
So how simple is it? Just we added a class. That's it. It is going to give us the navigation bar. Of course, you don't need to remember each and every class because already the examples are available on the web. So that just you need to consume what is the right thing for us. Just we need to consume that. That's it. So now let us add a simple header to our navbar. Div class equal to navbar. It is going to create a navbar header for you. Inside that you can mention what are the things that you want. You can mention that. I want to give a brand for our application A. Anchor tag href equal to hash. What happened? Whenever I'm using an anchor tag, I'm going to get the this particular one here. But I want to use it in a more professional way. If you can add the logos also, there is no problem. There is a class for branding your page. See, is it properly coming? Jabong or what are the site that you want to build, you can simply add that particular name here. Or else if you want to use a logo, you can use the logo there. There is no problem. Got it? Let me use our my site. So this is the site that we are going to build.